We just have two guest speakers that are going to speak this evening. We have Commissioner Doug Underhill, who is current county commissioner here in Escambia County, who we're currently working on the budget and many other things. And then the second speaker is Megan Walters. She is running for county commissioner in District 5, which is North Escambia, and she's going to speak next. I just want to thank everybody for coming, everybody for their signs and the flags. Thank you guys so very much. It's all about awareness. It's all about the kids. And that's what it's about, making the public aware. So thank you guys for coming. Thank you very much, and thank you, Commissioner Underhill, for coming and speaking.
It's my pleasure. You guys will be happy to know that Alex said I need you to say some things very brief. Be brilliant, be brief, and be gone. Here's the thing. Everything that you're doing right now, what you are doing and bringing awareness to this issue is the #1 force of effort that we need to be doing. This kind of behavior, trafficking in humans, it can only happen in the shadows. If we're silent, if we close our eyes, if we look the other way, that's the only way that these people can do what they do to our children. The only way that we can stop this is to just, in everything that you do, draw awareness to it. Not just coming out here, this is a great start, but in your own lives. You see something, you say something. You ask that hard question. And if it offends the person that you're asking the hard question to, at the very least, maybe they will relook at their own behaviors. But most likely what will end up happening is that you're drawing attention to somebody and you may be saving a life. How do we end this industry? Every industry is based on two things. You have to have a product and you have to have a demand signal or a market to sell it in. We need to change the way we live in America so that women especially, but people that are at a disadvantage, have options. They know that they do not have to sell their bodies and they do not have to be slaves to a labor force in order to be valued in our society. Everything we do, we should be thinking about the people weakest among us, and we need to elevate their ability. We need to elevate them so that they see broader horizons. If our young women see broader horizons, they will not allow themselves to be sold as labor. That's the first thing we need to be doing right here at home. And everything that we do, elevate the weakest among us so that they have options and they do not become victims of this hideous trade. The second thing that we need to be doing is we need to shut down the demand signal. Anywhere that there is a market where there are people willing to spend money to buy another human being, somebody's going to fill that market space. Okay? This is the insidious side of the free market society that we love so much. It is the perversion of our free market society. So how do we eliminate that demand signal? Privacy, secrecy, and running around in the shadows is the only thing that allows them to survive. We have to get on to our politicians at the federal level to make sure that the Department of Homeland Security in their cyber defense efforts put on a cyber offensive effort as well, because they have a law enforcement capability. This industry survives in the darkness of the internet, and we will kill it by casting light on those areas and making it impossible to trade in human beings on the internet. That's a federal level issue, and I ask every one of you to talk to your federal officials and make sure that they are proactively working to that kind of a reality where we can use the resources we have not just to defend our own infrastructure, but to defend our people. Guys, that's all I've got to share with you. Megan Walters is coming up and she's going to talk to you a little bit more about what's here locally and what I-10 corridor means and what Pensacola is in this hideous trade. Thank you very much.
Hey everybody, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I want you to repeat something after me. I am for the child.
I am for the child.
One more time, let's do it all together. 1, 2, 3.
I am for the child.
Okay, they didn't hear us over there. So say it one more time.
I am for the child.
Okay, I used to volunteer with the Guardian Ad Litem program. And for those of you who aren't aware of what that is, it is children who are in the system and they need somebody to advocate for them. And you're assigned to them, you work with a lawyer, and you are just there for that child. I am for the child is what Guardian Ad Litem's catchphrase is, their motto. I had a case, and it was the very first time that I realized that we had human trafficking happening right here in our backyard. The other day, some of y'all may have seen it, there was a Facebook post that was circulating around. Over half of the United States was just dotted up, and then the whole West Coast. And I scrolled past it, and then I realized that it said it's not a corona map. It was human trafficking map. And it just blew my mind. Hold on. I-10 right here is the super highway. There's 800,000 kids that go missing a year. The thing is that the kids that are trafficked, they're not trafficked by a stranger. They're always trafficked typically by people that they know. There's 3 things that we can do to help this. One is to educate yourself of what human trafficking truly is. 2 is to recognize the signs. And 3 is to speak up. And typically, if you're going to see a child alone with someone, that's going to be a sign to you. We cannot turn a blind eye to this. Most people don't want to talk about human trafficking. They don't want to bring it up in conversation. But we've got to stop that if we want to make an end to this. We've got to talk about it. We've got to bring it up in conversations. We have to acknowledge it. Right here in Pensacola, all the things that we all love about Pensacola, the beach, the fact that we are so close to all these other states. You know, New Orleans is just a few hours away, Mobile, Alabama. That is one of the things that attracts traffickers as well and makes us one of the biggest hotspots there is. When it comes to a human trafficker, control is normally mentally. Most people don't realize that. They think it is always a sexual thing or a physical thing. But the majority of the time, it's going to be mental. They're not locked up, and they're free to go around, but they're under these people's control. The key thing when it comes to human trafficking is awareness. And in doing awareness for human trafficking, it changes just as much as substances, such as meth and all that, how quickly that changes, that's how often this is changing. And that's because most of it is done on the internet. We cannot be complacent, and we have to stay vigilant when it comes to this. Some of the red flags that come with this are the children usually don't know their personal details. They're hesitant to talk to you. Usually, if you're trying to talk to them, they're going to look at the person that is with them. They're not going to be forthcoming of the person's role, and typically they have no ID. Kids that are in the foster care system are typically more susceptible because they're looking for someone to take them in. We as parents, I have 4 boys. We as parents, all of us, we have to know what our kids are doing, both online and offline. We have to ask our children. We have to ask our children and talk to them, and we have to have the hard questions. And we have to be present. 2 things. As I was talking to one of my dear friends who has studied this and does training in this, I asked her, I said, if there was 2 things, if you had national media in front of you right now, what are the 2 things that you would want to bring to light in human trafficking? She said, educate yourself and be vigilant. Those are the 2 ways that we can all combat it. We have to face it head on, and we cannot hide our head in the sand. It does occur here, right here in Pensacola. It happens quickly. And the majority of the time when these kids are taken, they're hard to recover. Right now, we're all bringing an awareness. We're all standing out here. Everybody is bringing awareness. But the biggest thing that we all have to do is go from here and change our awareness to action. There's agencies here. There's agencies here that we can take our awareness and turn it to action. There's the Kyle Project, the Nisi Worldwide, the Secret Place, and the OP Underground. We can partner with all of these, and we can take action with these. They're agencies that will help us. But also, what we need to do, it goes back to what I was saying about our kids. We have to have those conversations. I have 4 boys. We're active in scouts. We're active in football. I've got kids at my house all the time. You know, my nieces, everybody. We need to break the stigma of this and talk about it. It needs to be regular conversation because it goes back to what Mr. Underhill was saying. then we're taking away the secrecy of it all. We also need to, by partnering with these organizations, we also will increase training. You can partner with these and you can learn training and how to go forward. But also it goes deeper than that. It's the ones who see our kids, the ones who are on the front line who need the training as well. It's our school resource officers. It's our EMS, fire, police, bringing them aware. I just want to take a moment right now, and we've talked about this. And today is World Day Against Trafficking. There are so many kids out there that are hurting, that are broken, that are stuck in this world, and they need to be taken out of it. We're bringing awareness. We're even taking it a step further with action. But right now, with all of us here, I think that we should just take a moment and pray for these children. Alex, I'm going to pass it off to you.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea. I just want to thank everybody again for coming. I want to thank Commissioner Underhill for coming and giving us his time. And thank you, Megan, for coming and giving us some great information. And I just want to thank each and every one of you, because without you, none of this would have happened. Without the organizers bringing us all together, thank you very much, none of us would have been here. But without you, none of this matters. And I'm looking at each and every one of you because it starts with us here. It starts with you, it starts with your household, it starts with your home and your family. And what we're all here doing is great, but we need to go forward and we need to take this action and we need to keep going. We can't just let it stop today. So what can you do? Well, Operation Underground Rescue, who we're here for right now, in coordination with all the other projects, we're starting a new chapter here in Pensacola, Florida. So if you want to become part of Operation Underground Rescue, if you want to help work with law enforcement, work with our local community leaders, and if that's something that interests you, please speak with myself, speak with Jennifer, and get us your information, because that's the action that we need to take. Go ahead and let's just close this up in prayer, and then go back to getting some more honks on. So, all right. Let's bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you so much for today. We thank you for the opportunity that we're here to gather and to meet and to bring awareness to such a huge topic and huge horror that's happening here in the United States. And Lord, we just thank you for the beautiful weather. We thank you for the beautiful sunrise and the sunsets. And we just ask you to bless us all. And thank you. In your name we pray. Amen.